Hi, this is Katie Weeks, your independent close to my heart maker, and today I am here with the Makers with Heart to share a collaboration about Craftroom organization. Welcome to my craft room. It obviously has a very Ohio State feel. And I wanted to give you some organizational tips and things that work for me in my craft room. So I'll point out a few things. I don't have it 100% clean, but it never is, let's be honest. And this is way better than normal. So I have like this high top table, and that's where I mostly work. And underneath it, I have a Gemini and a little selfie printer and a bunch of charging cords. And then there's some storage under that. And I keep like my MacBook or iPad or whatever charging, usually up on top. And then whatever projects I'm working on. And then I also have a little cart that I bring around this table just as I need it. But one of the things that I just recently have added, and it's been wonderful when I'm filming, is this roll of paper towels. I cannot tell you the lifesaver that has been. I just mounted it up under the table. I love it. It was just the simplest thing for 10 bucks or something on Amazon, and I absolutely love it. So I wanted to make sure I showed you that. I hope I don't make you dizzy. That stuff on that wall is mostly not close to my heart. I do have a cart with my Cricut on it, and I have that one on casters so that I can roll it closer to my desk if I need to hook it up to a computer, or a lot of times I just use my Bluetooth for it. And on top of that cart, I also keep my Stamp of the Month card kits that I'm sending out to customers, and I just find that really handy. I do have one of these scrap towers. They are no longer available. I absolutely love it, and I keep current papers on it, and they are right here on this side. So I keep current ones in there, current paper packs. So you'll have to excuse my mess, but this is my little office area. My Cloffice is what I've seen some people call it. It's a closet that I've converted into an office, and that's kind of where things get piled, obviously. I do have an area where I have my die cut machine. I have my masking tapes up there. Here's a good look at that peg wall. I've got my glue gun, heating guns, masking tape, my little swatches of all the colors. Those are actually some distressing tools at the top right. More masking tapes, the rolls that are already open to keep them handy. I have many different types of scissors and a stapler. More different types of scissors, different purposes for those. All of those mats that I have for my die cutting machine, I find that very, very handy. And then I just keep like a bigger stapler, hole punch, a couple different types of specialty hole punches. I have to keep my Post-it notes handy. I'm kind of like the Post-it queen, and so I keep those really handy as well. Over here I have a bunch of ribbons. These are basically all close to my heart ones that we had at some point, and I have these Tim Holtz scissors that cut ribbon like a dream, and so I keep those there. This one I believe was maybe an alphabetical, no, I'm not sure. That's just a bunch of old swatches of colors. These are specialty papers that we've had, and some different ways to do journaling around the edges of things. These are just some technique cards that I've made, and there's instructions on the back, and we made those with my upline. So those are all kind of handy to have. And then I have my Cricut vinyl stored up there. Just got some re-inkers and embossing powders right close to that embossing gun. And those are some of our acrylic blocks that I have decorated up. Not really organization thing, but I think it's a fun idea. I like a guillotine cutter, especially for my White Daisy cardstock, because it is so much thicker and it kind of wrecks my blades. So I have found that cutting that was very handy, and sometimes I cut other things on there as well. Okay, so this is what I would call like one of the main close to my heart walls. Those are all of my stamps, most of my stamps, except for the ones that are in the cart that are in process, working on projects. And I have organized them and recently cleaned them out. And I have my thin cuts in these art bin containers. So here's a quick look at how those thin cuts might look inside that art bin container. I have the name of the thin cuts, how many were in that set, and the number. And then this is another set with 2, and then another one with 3. And so that gives me an idea of which set I'm working with. And I don't know if you could tell, there was another one written under there before. I found what kind of erased it the best was actually nail polish remover with acetone. So that's a nice little tip. These are my granddaughter's crayons and markers and her coloring papers, very important, and her painting books. So when she comes to Nana's, she can get those. And behind the door, I have like current catalogs and this bottom one, and then any recently retired ones up top. Okay, and here's my other close to my heart wall, if you will. And I've got my cardstocks in order, and I have little tabs marking the colors. And some of the tabs, not all of them, some of them even have this on here, which I have found handy. Like, I've cut it out of a catalog or copied it, and I have the parts so I know which parts I need to reorder. I found that pretty handy. And then I have my black separate and my white, and then my black with black core is in this. So I keep, this is one of my favorite organizational tips, is I have this rack pan, I think is what it was. It's like, so you can do your pans and racks underneath your kitchen cabinets. I use that to store all of my cutters, and I have my mini Misty here, and I have a bigger stamping platform, and then here are my Versamats. I just find that kind of handy, and a scoring board. That is very handy. Then these are retired paper packs organized in alphabetical order right here. Those are some old project packs, and then this would be my scraps organized by color into different little folders. So one other thing I wanted to show you is right here. So I have these little bags, and they have all of the things that I have die cut that I have extras. So this one is pretty little, but most of them are this size. And like this one is all hearts, as you can see. And I got these bags from Mary Kay. Like, I don't actively sell it, I just get my 50% discount. And I got these as a supply item, super cheap. So if you have a Mary Kay lady, ask her to hook you up with those. That was wonderful, but like super cheap. I just have a bunch of, like, that one's all frames. So I find that extremely handy as well. And one last little area I thought I'd go through is my little cart that I have. On the top of that cart, I have my tri-blend markers. I have them in this tri-blend storage little container. And then I have just a small thing of stamps with current projects that goes up here. These are projects that I need to work on. And then down here, these are my duplicate stamps that I have ordered, or something like that. So that's just an extra bin. These are paper scraps that I have not organized yet and that I might pull out of and use frequently. If it wasn't for my label maker, I might never find some things in my craft room. So I don't know if you can see, I have tiny little labels under here. Black cardstock, craft cardstock, white cardstock. Like, those are pretty obvious. But then down here I have like all these little drawers labeled so I know where my shaker foam and acetate and flip flaps and things like that are. And I have found this extremely helpful, so I would definitely recommend getting a good label maker. Okay, and back to that label maker. I've used it to label a lot of these bins all the way down my tower, and some of these are so old, but this is basically all close to my heart. Some really old scraps of ribbon, all sorts of notions, a bunch of old compliments that we have had in the past, hemp, twine, bows, embroidery threads, and I have the little bins marked inside there, confetti, gems, sparkles, pearls, enamel dots, and it just goes on and on. And it is a lot easier to keep track and a lot easier to put them away when I have them all marked like this. So that's my little crafty space. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and I hope you got some ideas of some things that you can do in your craft room. And if you have any questions about where I got some of my products, reach out and ask. I'm not sure if I'll know where all of them come from, but I hope you enjoyed the ideas I have for you today. Make sure you like the video and follow along on the hop. So the 10th through the 16th of the month is when the Makers with Heart are showing our organization ideas, and the girls have lots of good tips for you. So I hope you can follow along with the other ones on in the hop, and I will leave a playlist in the end and also a playlist in the description below.